на маркетинг бюджета. И пък и не
Вие вече дадете милиони?
Не, това са милиони, милиони.
Това е разлика между нашите пари и тези на другите.
Аз понеже нямам никой, който да подкрепи сега. Това чува ли си сега? Чува си.
Аз мога само национално, технологично не знам как.
Но ходи и красите пейзажи.
Това мога да друго не мога да
Може да е на...
Аз може да помогна.
Вече помогна да си армива не си. Честно казвам, аз имаш някакви хора, които ще дойдат, после ми се обадих, че няма да дойдат, поне 10 човека ще обадят онлайн. Явно събота не е деня. Любо каза, че не се притеснява от хромата публика, така че...
Той свикна на 2200, така че е гърмен зак.
Чакаме ли още малко да дойдат?
Малко вие какво ще кажем?
Няма Добре, Плана трябва да дойде, Иван ще дойде. Знам, че в Германия 5 човек ще дойде.
Ала?
Какъв е? Как ти пък? Не очаквам, здрасти, привет. Какво става? Заповядай.
Аз съм още флегнат.
Добре. Щях да падна неговата идея е изтекла и моля ти се тая на Румен Радев мисля да го прилагат за поръчките. То няма да
Тест.
стане микрофони, аз съм изключил звука или да го изключа направо.
Виждам ли си? Ти се
Да,
виждаш,
да.
аз се виждам. Нещо такова.
А това е камерата на
Да.
лаптоп.
По-ли го слово?
Окей.
На английски, на български как?
Както кажеш.
Да, на английски.
Да, ако има хора на английски, на английски.
Има един американец,
щом
не
има.
гледат в момента.
Щом има,
От
значи.
Германия има двама гледат, така че...
Окей, щом има, значи на английски.
Okay, I hope that I see that it works. So we start right now. So thanks everybody for coming today. It's great pleasure to see you. I'm used to having a bit more actually people around here, but thanks for the people that came. You're more than enough the way you are. The main topic of the club and the main topic of the gatherings is actually the financial freedom. So the financial freedom is actually not the amount you have on your bank account. It's actually between your ears. So it's more about how you feel. Are you free? And that's why I try to invite people that have been through different stages in life, different things they have done. And today we have a very distinguished guest. He's really amazing. Like if you have the time, just look at his history. I have to be honest, like I talked with Claude, like the AI, and I asked him, okay, give me a summary of the life of Lyubo Lekov. And he said, you can regard him as the Bulgarian Elon Musk. Okay? So this is the comparison I'm talking about here, you know? Okay? So
Far away.
The level. This is the level we're
Far away.
No, but joke aside, he's been one of the first people in Bulgaria to talk about finance, investing. He's been really on the forefront of the Bulgarian stock exchange. He's done so many things. I hope he will tell us a little bit about this, but really a very distinguished guest with a lot of experience. And most of all, I know a little bit from him and a friend of his, who is also my friend, Orlin, how he spends his life, like how he lives, which is actually far more interesting to me, being free, than just having done a lot of things and having earned a lot of money. Like being successful or being rich doesn't mean you're free. Like I've told you this, like there are a lot of people that have hundreds of millions. I know some of them that are not free. They still work 18 hours a day or 20 hours a day, and they have no time for their family, for themselves, for being spiritual, right? And being happy as I told you, my personal opinion is being happy is the goal of this life, right? Not being rich or not being successful. So thanks to you for coming today. Thanks for you being here today. And let's start. And just a short intro will be really nice. Like just a few words.
The short intro is I'm far away from the Musk as a genius entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur. I just make one company. I started one company 26 years ago. I sold it 13 years ago. So that's my whole entrepreneurship experience. So I don't want to start a new business. And basically what I'm doing now, I enjoying life. But I can, just like introduction, I started on the stock exchange in 93. This was the period with a lot of pyramid schemes and banks. That was like pyramid schemes. So there was a lot of strange thing happening of the newborn capital market. So basically I'm on the capital market more than it's 30 years. Yeah. And what actually I started a business because I really wanted to make a difference on the capital market, because at that time it was no information and a lot of corruption in the banks. That I was working at the Union Bank, and I was watching the market, and it was really sad because the so-called privatization fund, I don't know if you remember, there was people that was controlling the privatization fund, and they was doing deals under the table because there was no enough information. So all the shareholder was losing a lot of money because of this. And I wanted to start a website where you can share the real information, what's happening in the market, what's happening on all the stocks that are traded publicly. And that's how everything started. And then I learned that this is the only reason when you need to start a new business if you have a problem and you love the problem. So you want to solve the problem.
And you're working actually to solve the problem, not to earn money, but just to make something really that you care about.
Actually, yeah. When I started, I didn't believe that will be a real business, but in the same time, I didn't like being working as a portfolio manager in this, because 9 to 5 was not for me. I didn't understand why people was waiting 5 o'clock to happen and to go. It was strange for me, when the day will finish and to go.
I know this. I've worked in a company. I won't say the name, but it was like there was an elevator, and basically everybody should come at 8 o'clock and 5 o'clock everybody should leave. And 5.01 minute in front of the elevator, you could get killed. Basically, it's like everybody's there, so you cannot get the place in the elevator. And there are also stairs, and it's like two stories. You have to go down. Everybody's going on the elevator. Everybody's fighting to get on the 501.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember this one.
Yeah, this is sad. So, in a way, that's how the whole process started. The company started from zero, basically.
With 5,000, I read somewhere like
from
5,000
leva. $1,000, and the reason it was dollars because I have an angel investor. So basically, that was the reason I started, because I didn't have idea how to start the company like a startup. I didn't know that this is the startup at that time, and I needed someone to help me. And I really liked the American way of thinking, so we started from zero. And basically, it's now modern. Series A was like basically $5,000. I provided 2, so the series is 3,000. Then was Series B, I think 2 years later, like $25,000. And this money at that time that it was a little bit more than now, but it's still not enough to do serious business. And then there was some more and more friends coming to help. That was my idea. I was thinking, okay, you invest, but actually you work for free for me.
Okay,
that was the model, and actually it works.
I like that model, to be honest. Like this, I like this. You work for free. I like that.
Yeah, a lot of friends enjoying the enthusiasm and growing, and then one of the decision was to follow the model in Hungary. We knew that Hungary was 5 years before us in the internet development at that time. So we was following the model, and one of my partners was in Budapest. So he's half Hungarian, half Bulgarian, but mostly Bulgarian. So he was pushing me in one moment, let's go broadly in internet. So that's how we have at one moment 25 website watching where there is a place to go. It's totally different internet environment was back then, because the Google was very small, Facebook didn't exist.
So not so like overcrowded right now.
Yeah.
Like everything, you can find everything on internet. Most of the things you don't need, but you can still find them.
Yeah, there. And I remember it's like the same situation, a little bit like now. Artificial intelligence is not so important. A lot of people. We started in 2000, and I think until 2005, still media people was thinking, internet is not important. It will never be the important. And now it's only internet and nothing else. Television is dying. Newspapers are totally, I think,
they're gone. They're gone. Yeah. But like, let's go back to this one, because I read somewhere that basically you sold it for quite substantial amount of money,
Yeah.
like $12 million, I
Yeah.
think. And there was, let's say, Series C or D, worth
Yeah.
$1.2 million was
Yeah.
invested in the company. So after going through all this, at the end, you sell it, you go out. But like, how did you feel it? It was not the end. For me, it was the beginning. The moment you sold your company was the beginning. At least how I see the moment I sold my company was the beginning, not the end, right? But like from then on, what happened?
Yeah, I just want to go back a little bit. And I think it's important that we decided to go to the stock exchange, because always my idea when I started the business was where it will be the exit. I think a lot of people are starting the business without idea for the exit. So that's, for sure, it was clear that this day will come in 2013. April. It's exactly 13 years ago. So and the reason it was good day, because all the people that participate in the IPO and before IPO make a lot of money. So 12 times return of the investment. So when you make this exit, you feel good, because all of the people are happy also. And when this is very funny story. The first thing when I sold the company was to buy the camper. And so people, such a story, you sold the company and buy a camper. And the reason I bought the camper was that I was crazy about windsurfing. And the place that is good is in the Gökçeada. And on the Gökçeada, I want to stay a lot, but accommodation is terrible. So the best accommodation is with camper. So that was the reason. So I was basically, the only place that I go, in Lefkada. So Lefkada and Gökçeada and Batak with our friend Christo. That's the place usually. So this was, I know people don't understand. Probably, there is a lot of jokes about surfing, but it's like surfing is like meditation, but on much better.
Okay. I made it a lot. You don't drive surf. What do? You flow with the surf? What is the
no,
verb?
basically
What? You ride surf. Okay.
Yeah, and planning. Basically, you fly over the water.
Okay.
So this is the moment of the meditation, because you are flying over the water, and it's the feeling with the wind and the waves. So it's very special feelings. You need a lot of, every year you need to spend a lot of time to be good, because it's very, very difficult to learn. So that's why in one moment you give up and you become a kite surfer. So that's the funny joke, because kite surfing is much more easy, and of course you can progress much more. But that's very different topics from the financial freedom. But it's part.
It's part of the freedom. It's actually one of the most important reasons why we're talking today. It's like financial is good, but freedom is better. Like, so it's this part of the freedom part.
Yeah, but at the same time, life is very expensive. You wake up and you start.
You already have like expenses.
Yeah. So that's the other things that I'm doing. It's I really like it, Bulgarian Stock Exchange, but I give up. It's totally untransparent, and all this year building the business, I figured out that the best company are like Google and Facebook, and it's really helped me when I was building Investor.bg to compare what these guys are doing. And it was really unfair. They didn't spend anything on content. And I said, okay, how you can compete with guys that everybody works for basically free for them on the content side. And that's how I start to have the idea. And for me, when I sold the company, basically I invest mostly in this type of stocks that are part of the Magnificent Seven now.
So the American Stock Exchange.
Basically. Yeah, 90 maybe my investment is 90% of the in the stock in the US, but growth stocks. Basically, this is what I'm doing because all my life I was a growth investor.
So rather more risky than just
They called it risky. For me, it's risky to invest in the dividend stocks, for example, but it's another topic because sometimes when companies only dividends, basically the growth is going down.
Because when you pay dividends, it's not cash that you can use for the company, right?
So basically, one company you either grow or you downsize. So I prefer to be on the growth part of the growth.
One question we haven't discussed before, but I think it would be interesting. So seeing the stock exchange of Bulgaria like 26 years ago and seeing it now, do you see a change that is worth noting? Do you think it's much better or is it the same? Because from what I hear, it was not very good. So how is it now?
I'm really unhappy with some of the. Basically, there is one company, but still, it's not transparent, and I don't want to mention. I don't want to. A lot of people are happy with the stocks, but a lot of people makes money, but you need to be inside.
We have some of our participants here. They play on the stock exchange, so in Bulgaria. So.
Yeah, but you need to be insider a little bit.
Yeah.
So I compare Bulgarian stock with the Romanian stock. It's totally, you can invest in Romanian stocks without reason, and basically for the last 7-8 years, you have a very decent return. In the Bulgarian stock exchange, it's probably the same, but maybe because I know too much, it's a problem.
Okay.
And I really, so maybe the problem is me, and I don't understand. But for example, I don't like what SoFarma trading are doing. They are pumping one stock down, selling another stock, and you start to be confused. And so it's a very complicated to be investor in Bulgarian stocks. So maybe this is too hard for me.
Okay. So you continue to be mostly invested on the U.S. stock exchange?
Yeah,
and you disregard the Bulgarian part?
Sorry?
You disregard the Bulgarian stock exchange, let's say.
Basically, I have much better understanding of the American technology stocks because I'm investing like an entrepreneur. For me, the most important thing is to like the person that is running the business.
Okay.
I have one rule. I should know everything what he will talk before he's open his mouth.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like I need to be like a member of his board.
Okay.
And it's very interesting because this is the future. Basically, as I'm investing in a company that are they are making the future.
Okay.
And that's why for me it's interesting. And I don't like to invest in a pharmaceutical company because I think they are the past. Now things are changing with. I don't want to go in this direction, but I don't like pharmaceuticals because basically they work for most of the time, by the way, they work for the management, not for the investor. And it's opposite in the technology company because there is a lot of ego of these founders and they really want to show how better they are. So that's why they are doing everything to make their company with a bigger market capitalization. I don't know if it's if you're
I understand it's not so important to be like basically on the markets. It's not like what's your capitalization on the market is not always connected to how profitable you are and how much money you do, right? Okay. Here I would like to connect with a question like we discussed before is like right now, for instance, if you look at S&P 500, like probably 60% of the growth in the last 2 years comes from 7 companies. So is it really that basically you have a real index, or we are already like totally skewed and we're actually still investing in Google's and OpenAI's, whatever, like if we invest in S&P?
Actually, a lot of people think it's too much, but there was time when IBM was bigger than the whole Max 7.
Okay.
So it
As a
should-
percentage of the
Yeah,
index, you mean?
yeah.
Okay.
So I don't think that Max 7 is, especially at the moment, they are good investment because of the risking on the market. It's a long topic, but at the moment, a lot of people, maybe there will be a more correction coming, but they are really good opportunity at the moment because of the growth. There is a forward P is really, really down, and at the same time, the growth perspective are amazing at the moment.
Yeah, but you're saying P's are down. Nvidia P's is huge. Like
No,
you don't
not
think so?
anymore.
Not anymore?
Not anymore. And it's you should know it's a company with a 50% growth, and it's expected that the growth will continue next year. So at the moment, Nvidia is relatively cheap. That's
If you believe the
there is
forecast.
another it's spec. So P growth. There is it's like one is so at the normal it's a 1. So if it's much bigger than 1, it's overvalued. But if it's under is so I think it was Nvidia is like 0.4.
Okay, so you think it's undervalued.
0.4. So that's but it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is actually what will happen with the acceleration of the large language model.
Okay.
I think it's the biggest question is if it's a real thing or it's a bubble.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's a real thing. And
So you think it's real? So
and
these
it's
valuations
and it will accelerate even more. So that's what I see. That's what I read, and that's what it's then humanoid robotics will coming. So there is so many revolutions that are happening now. So that's why at the market will continue probably the correction. You never know, but at the moment it's really situation is crazy.
So what I heard yesterday, it was very interesting to me that actually Google and the rest are actually getting loans right now. They're issuing bonds so they can really have more firepower so they can accelerate their growth.
Yeah, and it's actually good because usually all these company don't know what to do with their cash. It's
now they're getting more cash.
As now they are getting more cash because they see the amazing opportunity. They can see the growth directly, and they understand it. These guys are not stupid. This is so okay. This is making the risk bigger, and there is another thing that is maybe what will happen. We don't, one of the things is that there is so-called bad actors, and it's not clear what Sam Altman will do with OpenAI. We see that he already have two big enemies, like Elon Musk, because OpenAI was Elon Musk company
They were in court, actually.
Different idea. Then see what happened. The next person that supported Satya Nadella from Microsoft, he gave all the infrastructure. Oh, now they have a contract, and now the same thing happening. Sam Altman is going against Microsoft. So Microsoft is also suing OpenAI. So imagine what the situation. Elon Musk is suing OpenAI because they should be not closed, but open company.
Yes.
And it will be now at the moment in California.
It started as a non-profit, actually.
Yeah, and it will very interesting what will happen because in California it's happening in April, a court case with 12 people voting the future of the of the world, basically. Because I think a lot of the risking is happening now because of this fact that we don't know what will these people vote, and if they vote against OpenAI, and imagine, what will happen with OpenAI? It's not clear. They are thinking about going IPO for $1 trillion. A lot of investment are done because of this. There was a contract with Oracle, and now it's canceled.
This was very fishy, this contract.
Yeah,
right?
It's canceled. Amazon is supporting now. And and this is another thing that probably a lot of investors are de-risking now. So basically,
Yeah, I think that's very risky because, like, for a certain amount of time, OpenAI was on the forefront. Nobody was there. Now you have many other players.
yeah,
At least
Anthropic
4 or
basically
5.
is
Yeah, Anthropic's, DeepSeek's from China, whatever. I mean, there are many.
no,
that,
DeepSeek is different story, but the most important is Anthropics and Google is again in
With
the
Gemini,
game, and
yeah.
it's people. So this is totally different game, and it's quite possible OpenAI to go down and down, and we don't know. But this will change a lot.
This will change a lot, but this will be also a big hole for the whole market. If this goes down, everybody else will feel it.
Yeah.
So everybody else will have a crisis, right?
Yes, because Anthropic is probably even better situated because they are making more money because they are good in the business side, but also now more and more people are even what I heard. I don't know if it's true, but a lot of people in the US are moving from OpenAI and using Claude.
I moved to Claude. I use the Cowork, for instance, as agentic and so on.
Yeah.
So but what I mean is, like, if AI goes down, it will burn down in flames and it will hurt all the rest in the S&P. This is what.
Yes,
There will be a major.
But it will not go down. That's for sure.
You sure?
Imagine when there was the bubble in 2000 with the internet. It was real bubble because I still remember, the interview on CNN, and the host asked the guy, "Okay, tell me, but where is the revenue?" Imagine, where is the revenue?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer was, "Okay, now it's not revenue important; it's click important." So it's totally different. Now these businesses are making money. Okay, they are not making profit, but in 2000 there was full of the businesses that are only the only important thing was at that time was to have penetration, and that's why and also they are comparing building the so-called data centers with building the infrastructure, but it's also again it's totally different. All the data centers are used totally in full capacity.
Okay.
And it was like 7 years after they built the infrastructure to start to be used in internet, and the reason was YouTube and Netflix.
I'm pushing you sometimes because, like, Lyubo has this non-emotional idea of investing. This is at least what I read about you, like how you do things, and you like always to be as neutral as possible, right? That's why I'm asking these questions and poking inside, because, like, at least me as a retail investor, I always have some emotion. For instance, I know I invest in Apple because I have an Apple, right? Or something else. But, like, this is not the way you should probably put your money somewhere, like, because if you want to have capital gains, like, you should not act as emotionally. That's why I'm asking these questions, like. And here I would like to switch to the next question, which is very interesting, especially to some of you, I know. What do you believe more, Bitcoin or gold?
None of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I will tell you something. First, maybe you start with gold because it's old. It's now is so everybody's in love in gold. But I can tell you, if I was kind of hedging in like 2013, I started to buy gold, and I remember there was a period of 10 years. Gold was doing nothing, and everybody was telling, "Oh, it's terrible. You should not invest in this." So basically, nobody was talking about gold. What happened is, so gold did something in the last 2 years. But imagine you stay in gold for 15 years, and you almost okay. There was period again I think in 2000 something. So it's really difficult to be a gold holder. Now it's relatively easy, but it was, I think, it's valuation. So the most difficult part of the gold is you are a blind investor. So I think I heard last week Turkish bank decided to sold like 50 amazing amount of 50,000 tons of gold, or 50 tons of gold. So you never know. Central banks now are accumulating gold, but then they can decide, okay, I need to. So of course, maybe I'm wrong, but I prefer to have some visibility. So businesses, for me, is much more better because doesn't matter what happened. You have some idea, at least for me, I have some idea. The only things that I know as a rule for gold, and it's that you should look at what is the M2 money in the world.
M2
and what
is
is
like we should probably say for the people that don't know, M1 is basically
Cash.
cash. M2 is cash equivalents in cash, and M3 is
with
more
loans.
difficult to get to cash and so on.
But anyway, you look at what is M2 as a capitalization and what is the gold as a capitalization. And there was a moment, and that's why I was buying gold at that time. That basically money was much more than the gold.
Okay.
So I said, okay, this is the opportunity. And then, so for a long time, gold is overvalued compared with the money. Even we print so much money, but at the moment, but still, this is some rule that, okay, it's Dalio rule.
Ray Dalio, okay.
Ray Dalio rule. That is the only rule I heard about how to value gold. That's very important for me to have an idea. But anyway, this is a hedge, and I don't like hedges actually.
So you're investing in growth stocks, so you like to be more risky.
Yeah.
Or as you said, like
for me,
you have different definition of risk.
For me, investing in gold is risky
because it doesn't grow.
Because I cannot value the gold. That's my problem.
So there's no fundamental analysis behind it.
Interesting value.
Okay, intrinsic value.
And no, there is no.
Supply and demand. It's supply and demand, basically. Okay.
And for Bitcoin, I think it's really crypto is the future of the money, but we don't know what exactly. Probably stablecoin will be for sure the future, but I don't know how this will be played with Bitcoin. I remember one thing that is always for me was risky. A lot of people have like billions in Bitcoins that invested zero. So they have this from the very beginning.
Oh, so they started mining this.
Yeah. So a lot of players sold it when there was over 100,000. I was watching. At the same time, I really don't like one player there. It's called MicroStrategy or Strategy. Who is really taking a lot of money from loans and investing in Bitcoins, pumping the stocks, selling the stocks. So what he's doing all the time is telling the same story. But what it's really clear for me is that now the problem with the company, the company can go insolvent and all the Bitcoin must be sold. So that's real risk.
Mm-hmm. So you think this will hurt the price of Bitcoin at that point?
I don't like this to happen, and a lot of people are shorting the stocks and pushing because they know that if they push in one moment,
it will crack.
Yes, but we never know. There is a lot of thinking that Bitcoin can be 1 million, and it can happen. So it's really not my field of competence, let's say.
Okay, but one last question on this one, because I'm interested in, it's getting more institutionalized. So Bitcoin is getting to have its ETFs. Because you mentioned the stable coins, like we are expecting now the CBDC, which is the central bank's distributed currencies, right? So like not just a stable coin, but a stable coin of a central bank. So do you have any idea about that? Are you going to keep your fingers away from that, or you would like to go there? Because it's going institutionalized, so it's going to have a fund and so on. It's going to be traded.
Yeah, for example, understanding what is doing only Tesla I need to spend a lot of time every day. So I prefer to analyze what's happening in FSD, full self-driving, how is this going, what's happening in the humanoid robots, what's happening with all the things, also with what's happening in Meta. So basically, I prefer to read what's happening in the large language model. This is much more interesting for me. So I think probably a lot of people will make money if they are investigating the crypto area, but this is not my area of competence, and it's not interesting for me.
Okay, I get it. The next question I had prepared is more about the geopolitics and how this is actually influencing the current situation for retail investors, because we are all retail investors. Like, this is helping or hurting our potential semi-passive incomes, like for financial freedom. And what would be your take on the current situation, and what do you see in the next 12 months? What is your prediction? Like, how you think things evolving from here?
When the war started, I remember there is immediately researches, and there was a Goldman Sachs research that the last 7 cases when this type of, in the last 75 years, happened, such a big conflict. Yes. Like war in Ukraine is the similar one, and Vietnam, and etc. Korea. So always is the same. At the moment markets start to crack before the event, it's a little bit going down, but 60 days after the day one, it's up like 10%. So of course, this conflict, it's really showing that it's not going in a good direction. But still, for me, geopolitics is much more noise. Most important thing is always, if you look at the 200 history of the US stock exchange, is always earnings per share of the S&P. So the most important thing is what company will do as a profit and growth perspective. And for example, the only big risk is if this will go to the recession. So there is a fear of the and it's probably, this is also the inflation. There is always now this is big change. Federal Reserve was before the war started, there was 2 hikes going down. Now it's even no hikes at all, or even possibility of
increasing.
Yes,
increasing the
and there is one thing, just probably everybody knows, but it's if the inflation is like a hammer for the stock. So if the inflation is going up, it's really bad for the stocks.
Yeah, but here we have this. Then the question is actually, is there actually a danger of stagflation? Because right now inflation is going up, but also the jobs created in the US are going down. So actually the index there of new created jobs is going up, right? So it looks like we're having less so people are consuming less, but you're still having increase in the inflation. So how do you deal with that?
This is the old book. The thing is basically the economy is very strong at the moment, and I don't think recession is, because the investment is never been such an investment, and the war in Iran will not stop the investment in artificial intelligence, because all these big companies have a lot of money and the possibility to take, like you said, loans on a very cheap, how to say, with low interest. But everybody is in a rush, because this is the biggest everybody, this is the most important event, according to a lot of people, since the industrialization of the 120 years ago. And economy will be strong. So I don't think there is a risk of stagflation.
You don't think so?
Yeah.
Okay. What about, like, this was also from the people that are watching now, and then they send me a few questions before, but they were asking about like something that's a new term for me. I didn't know it, but what about stock rotation? So what do you think about like selling the stocks that were high and then buying now, for instance, defense and something else that now is very modern, and then selling it when it's in the top, and then buying again the tech stocks and so on? What do you think about that?
Yeah, this is Wall Street. Love this. If you watch CNBC all day, they are talking about rotation. It's when somebody don't have what to say, is saying it's time for rotation. But this is very risky, and I always think for me it's impossible to understand all the sectors and for me it's impossible to understand when is the moment to make this rotation. Sometimes it works like now, but most of the time rotation is basically what you're doing. You are selling something that will continue to grow and buying something that will go down. It's happened so many times, so I think it's too risky.
So you try to time the market, which usually doesn't work.
It's better is if you are afraid of something, the risk. So make more cash is the best thing is to have more cash when the time is like now, because you can invest in the. I really believe that you should invest in company that you will, like Buffett is saying, 10 years after, you will be happy to be investor in the same company.
To be owner of this company.
Yes. Yeah. So.
Okay. So as following, I would like to go a little bit more on the freedom side, like what you do after you sold your company, how you basically enjoy your freedom. This will be very interesting to people. Then it will be interesting to see if somebody here has some questions, like to, let's say, play with the audience, right? But one last question to say in the finance part is also somebody asked me from the people that are watching right now in Germany, if I am a retail investor, not if I am a retail investor, I listen to you, what would be, okay, you're not giving financial advice, but what would be your opinion? Let's formulate it like this. Where should I put my money in 2026?
So because I'm doing every day and I'm analyzing, so at the moment, because of the correction, it's already 12% correction in Nasdaq. I think it's good time to start to invest, but not timing. It's like dollar cost average. And both of for me, Nasdaq 100 and S&P 500, it's a good investment always. So the best time to buy is when there is a fear on the market. So
okay, buy when everybody's
having
fear and sell when everybody's greedy. Blood on the streets. Yeah.
Blood in the streets.
So buying index, you might be indexes. Okay.
So probably, maybe because of the situation I'm at the moment, it's quite possible this correction to continue a little bit more. So you never know, but in the same time, I think also all of the company in Max 7 now are in it's better priced than, let's say, 6 months ago. So I don't want to be. Yeah, it's possible they have more pain to see more pain in the market, but it's not advice, but I think if you don't have investment, it's basically you are losing money.
Okay.
Because of the fact that the money is losing power every day.
So basically, if you had, let's say, 10,000 euros right now, you would invest it in Max 7, let's say.
Yeah, but not immediately all of the money, but
Dollar cost average.
Dollar
so
cost average.
every week for some
Yeah.
amount of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Now I would like to switch more to the topic that I find extremely interesting is the freedom part. Like, because when you sell something, like a company is a product, right? You build a product and you sell it. Okay, it's a big product because you sell it once and you build it over, like, say, 13 years and so on, but it's still a product and you sell it in the market. Somebody's willing to pay $1 for that, and then you have capital. And you said, like, with your capital, from what I understood, 90% you invested on the stock exchange in the US. But how do you live your life? How do you feel?
Yeah. So, for me, I'm not sure that it's a strategic game. So investing, I'm not investing exactly for the money. Of course, they are paying a lot of
Bills?
things, bills, and a lot of stuff that But for me, researching this is the type of game that is, for example, people like poker, playing poker, and for me, poker is a very boring game compared with what I need to think how to play the market. So that's why for me it's an amazing opportunity to participate. And for me, this is not work. This is a strategic game.
But you're not a trader. You're more of a value investor, right?
Okay,
growth stock, not value, but growth stock investor.
Yeah. So I'm playing also with option. So so maybe this is changing.
Weapons of mass destruction.
I'm selling put option. I'm selling call option. Sometimes I'm buying call option. I remember that when the market is really oversold, I am selling put option on. But I don't know. It's a little bit.
But you're a mathematician, right? You graduated in computer science, so you understand the mathematics behind it, right?
Okay.
No, I'm just saying it's not for everybody.
Not like a quant,
Yeah.
Yeah. But so this is. It's. I don't recommend. It's.
Please don't do this at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't recommend. But for me, the other thing that I enjoy a lot, I was writing books for me, but like 5 years ago exactly, I said, okay, I need to change something, and
you're writing books, so you have your own books.
Yeah, even it's called. It's not print. It's not published.
Yeah.
Maybe I will. That's the plan. It's actually on financial freedom exactly.
Cool. I want to read that. I want to be the first one to read it outside.
How to make financial freedom without illusion.
Okay.
Without illusion, yeah, something like this. It's that's basically I started the YouTube channel 5 years ago like a hobby. It was really funny. I was not prepared, and I learned something that if I prepare myself for videos, etc., I learn more. But I don't like it that there is some pressure on views, etc. And in one moment I said, okay, I will make a members. So I have a membership, and it's very active. Like more than 200 people are there, and I'm doing because I know all these people, they're real investors. So I can share tips that are really interesting, and it's this for me a hobby. You cannot make money for this because from this.
Yes.
But it's for me such a motivation because it's another strategic game. How to make people pay even a little bit, but every month for what you're doing. So I even have a 2 level. So people, and I said, okay, I will do much more deep
gold membership.
It's basically level 2, I call it. But it's so basically there I explain much more what I'm doing and how I'm preparing, because this is what they wanted. So, and it's like level 1, level 2 game for me, and it's I'm enjoying doing this. But the most important thing that I enjoy is from the windsurf. It's now kiting. So it's that I will move in April in Limnos. I was lucky to find a very good house. This is part of the financial freedom. You can, if you find a good house, you can
buy it.
you can buy it. And
I recommend this to everybody.
Yeah. So I really love to do downwind. So what is downwind? You start from one place. That's why Limnos is maybe one of the best islands in Europe. So the other place you can go is Brazil, and I was there. I did 400 kilometers on the coast. So what you do, you start from the place that is my house and you go to the other place. So there is a interesting logistics with other friends. We move from here to there, so there is need to car, because sometimes you can go in both directions, but it's different. So I'm preparing a lot for the season. So I really want to be in the best shape. So I'm doing a lot of
Traveling?
No. I'm skating a lot to be in a good shape. So like I told you, come to skate.
Yeah.
It's
Ice
really
skating,
but also rolling on the. So it's really good for to be in the. I called it sporting load. I don't know. It's sporting load to have such a level of fitness.
Okay.
That you can stay on the water much longer than usual. Okay. And so this is. So that's why everybody on the watching what is you are doing, how it's your pulse doing. So this is preparation. I don't know how professional people that are doing sport, but it's really part of another game that you are preparing for the season. So,
yes.
And I'm waiting 8th of April, because this is when I will go.
This is why we needed to do this today, because afterwards he's gone. But here, what I wanted to ask you more is first of all, are you happy?
I think so. Of course, there is always change in life. When you're 25, 30, you have one understanding of your journey in life. Then when you're 55, you have different understanding. But I really think that I'm more happy now than when I was 20 or 25. So happiness is very, how to say, what is the happiness? It's basically some people in Africa are happy having nothing. Mm-hmm. Other people in Finland are saying that this is the most happiest nation. And if you ask they will say, I don't understand why. So because it's a depression, the weather there is total depression.
For me, for instance, I am happy, and I can tell you why. For me, gratitude is happiness. It's as simple as that. Many people ask me, when you're grateful for everything you have, starting from that you're alive, then you're grateful for the air, for the sun. I have 2 beautiful kids. I'm healthy, or not how do you call this? When you go to the doctor, you get tested. I'm not tested enough, so I look healthy, right? And I'm grateful for everything, and the more grateful I am, the more happy I am. This is something I discovered from my life. Okay, so I'm praying every day, and this brings me happiness, because I have more than that, but that's really quite a lot, right? So that's why I'm asking, are you happy? Because you have a lot seen from the side. Like you go kiting, you can live in Greece for some amount of time, and so this is great. And then for this, I'm asking, are you happy?
And I think I feel happy because I'm living my dream. So basically, I was like 10 years old when I saw the first time the windsurf, and I said, this is what I want to do. And it was quite a journey because it's very difficult. In one moment I was able to, on big waves, to do windsurfing, but still sometimes you go like this in the waves, and I said, it's time to change.
Okay.
Basically, I changed it because of the pandemic. There was a period I cannot go to Gökçeada. There was quarantine, and there was a time when you go in Egypt and basically I started to go in Egypt, and I learned there.
Okay.
And I said, oh, it's much more easy to pack and travel because it's so different. You have 2 kites, and in one moment I have like 4 big boards, 6 sails, 4 masts, and 4 gig boom. Oh, sorry, it's called boom.
Okay.
It's such a terminology, And with the kite, it's much more easy, and actually you can kite much more in different weather, so it's not so. But I know that from people that are not surfing, they will think, why so? Why is he talking all the time about this?
No, but this is what gives you emotion, right?
Yeah. And there is funny things happening when different surfers are together, and they can talk like 5 hours about the wind from there was doing this, and so what happened with the waves, and
it reminds me of fishermen, like fishing, right? One aspect that I would like to discuss right now is something that many people don't see usually when they see somebody that has that's had such an event of selling a company or gaining a serious amount of capital. That many people that get a lot of capital a certain time in life, let's say for instance, I don't know, like Mike Tyson, like he had tens of millions of dollars, probably 100, I don't know, he was broke. Okay, there are other actors, and this is actually that you get a lot of money, but if you spend it faster than you earn it, then at a certain moment you have zero or even minus. And here is like probably the discipline or the understanding of how life works, and meaning that like financial freedom doesn't mean I can spend endlessly. I had this conversation with Ginga before. It was like I usually spend things on that bring me emotion, and everything else I'm very stingy, for instance. Okay, but how do you do that? How do you stay where you are? Because again, financial freedom requires also the part not only with the income or saying passive income, but also with spending, right? Unless you're Elon Musk. Okay.
No. Discipline, financial discipline. Most of the people don't know they spend more than they earn. So this is rule number 1.
Most people don't know how much they spend. Actually,
and that's when they don't know. It's usually spend more than they earn. So this is the rule, and don't take loans that you cannot repay. This is the other thing. A lot of people are taking loans. I remember in 2006, all the young people that was working for me was taking loans because it was possible. Loans makes real commercial. What was the name? Okay, for real estate, loans, mortgages. It's okay in the some way but you need to be very careful with mortgages also, because there is a hidden cost usually that you don't count. I don't like
business. Interest rates also.
A lot of people are doing, and I know they're happy buying and property on loans and then renting, and they are very happy with this model. But I don't believe this is. You need to be. It's very hard business. So usually, I think your finance should be very, very simple. That's. And then usually what I do, I have money A and money B. Money A is the income that, because I don't have monthly, how it's called, salary?
Salary, okay, income monthly, yeah.
So investments are totally different, separated from the money I spend. So these different accounts. So
Okay.
then, and this is kind of give me, it's never easy because there is always a lot of things that you want to spend, but I don't know if you invest in the right way, the growth of the capital is usually much bigger than your expenses. That's what happened for me in the last, when I sold the company in 2013. I was able to invest in the right
Stocks.
the right. So I don't know if I answered the question.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Sorry.
Now, okay. Thanks a lot for all these questions. Right now, I am kind of satisfied with all the things we discussed, and I would like to ask if there are any questions from the people that are here. I can give you the microphone if somebody wants to ask something. Or, oh, there you are.
Thank you. I wanted to ask about how you keep yourself informed. What do you read, watch, listen to? And then you mentioned that every day you analyze stocks. So if you can share a bit more about how you do the analysis, whether you use any tools that you can recommend.
Okay. I learned something that media is not a very good source of the information. So most of the time I have like 40 people that I follow on X.com or Twitter.
Okay.
So every day I start with watching what some of them are saying on the market, and this is most of the time I'm checking and again the situation on the market, and usually I don't read. Sometimes I read articles, okay, but most of the time I prefer to numbers, only numbers, and then I everything that are new for the reports of the company I'm interested. I always watch what is there. Every 3 months there is the so-called reports of what was expected, what happened, and I try to understand what the CEO of the company is thinking about the future, because we are not trading the current situation, we always are trading the future. So for me, this is the time of the reports are very busy. The thing is in the US that they start, for example, Netflix. I'm watching a lot of what Netflix, it was a real saga for me with a potential acquisition of the Warner Bros. That what happened. So, for example, I was reading everything about this how to say saga, because it was real and very, very interesting. For me, it was so interesting. So then is after Netflix, what happened with Tesla. I'm reading everything about the prospect of SpaceX going on the stock exchange, all different opinion about potential merger.
Yeah,
so
what do you think about this Elon Musk merging all his companies into one?
Probably it will happen, but I don't want to speculate.
Would you buy that stock?
No, because it's I think 1.75 billion valuation is too much.
I think trillion or
Trillion, yeah,
trillion,
sorry.
okay.
Yeah, it's very...
So it's already so big that, yeah, okay.
Good. And, usually IPO is another thing about, I don't participate in the IPO. It's probably overpriced. It's probably overpriced. This is...
Okay.
So one thing that can be usually there is a lock period of 6 months, and after the 6 months, insider can sell. So usually this is also pushing the price. And after many times, you can buy one company much better after because IPO is a lot of marketing, a lot of people are buying, and there is, for example, like in my IPO, a lot of people was participating in the pre-IPO, but they have the obligation to participate in the IPO. So they have like so imagine there is a lot of people buying on the IPO not because it's cheap, but because they have obligation from the previous rounds.
Okay.
So I don't know what is that's why probably I will not. I really wanted to be a shareholder in SpaceX, but for me it was very difficult bureaucracy to find a way to invest on the private market. There is a possibility, but I said okay. So yeah, once again, this is basically I prefer to always to look at the numbers from. So basically, I to build the or
To look at the numbers and build your own narrative.
yes, yeah.
Not reading the news.
Yeah, because a lot of the news are built to sell a fear. That's what usually is happening, and for me, it's a waste of time to read the news.
No emotions, like
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a question. You
What
want to?
about the analysis? Any tools that you're using?
Tools? No. I'm looking at usually this is what I need. Okay, sometimes I'm watching levels of the market. I don't like technical analysis, but sometimes it's good to look at this. So, but most of the time I'm investing like I have opportunity to be a partner in business. So that's why, yeah.
Okay.
So my question is just to clarify. Let's just say you have a pool of assets or money invested in some way. My understanding is that you said that you really prefer the stock market and you don't really diversify this pool of money or the assets that you have into real estate, gold, or crypto.
So my strategy usually is 20-80. So I was trying everything. So 80% in stocks and 20% in cash. And for me, cash is an instrument. What I'm using in a moment like, for example, last year when there was the so-called drama with tariffs, I was using for buying the dips. I didn't know that this would be a dip, but luckily I was buying. Probably I was doing dollar cost average on the way. I'm buying always with pain. I never buy when I feel good. So when the market is going down, this is the moment when I'm investing. And to be able to do this, I need cash. So cash, I never touch cash when the market is going up. And so I know that a lot of people are buying gold as the diversification. Maybe for me this is not working. So I have a time I was with a lot of gold, but for example, with 10 years the gold didn't do anything. So I just
One other thing. So let's just say 20% is in cash. And when there's a correction on the market, you use some of that cash.
Yeah. Like
so how do you stock again back to the cash?
When the market is over, I usually, for example, a lot of the stocks like Palantir and Tesla, because I bought at the time they was cheap. I usually have something like 10 to 50% limit. So when they are over, I'm selling just to make it on the.
You mean when the increases?
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, you do a stop loss and you
No, just I'm watching. I have like Excel spreadsheet. It's a Google sheet. So it's not. I don't recommend, but it's this. I started this spreadsheet like 30 years ago, and I'm still watching. It's different. It's crazy. I know on the phone usually. You are doing spreadsheet. I don't want. I sometimes delete the but it's like playing the game. So I know at the very moment all of my assets what kind of percent I can tell you. I don't need to watch. So basically, if I see for a long time that they are bigger than my 10% limit, I'm offloading.
So in your portfolio, you have also a principle not to have a certain stock above 10%. Is it 10, 15?
Yeah, Tesla is and Palantir is because I really believe that they can. So I'm now Palantir is 10%. Yeah, so only for this is the limit, and one stock that don't know. Yeah. So I don't hear the question.
I understand your answer. It was 10% for the regular stocks, but what about the Nasdaq and S&P 500, which you
Okay,
advised
yes.
in the beginning?
For them, I don't have the limitation, but they are something like 10, 20%. So for me, I'm buying a lot of Nasdaq 100 and S&P on German stock exchange because it's directly euro and also a regulated market, and you don't pay capital.
Basically, as a European, it's very difficult to trade on the US market. You need a lot of decisions. It's almost impossible, basically, as a European to trade on that.
Yeah, it's yeah. Is it the question?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Thank you for the information so far. My question is also on diversification. For a beginner investor who is not tracking daily or even weekly the market, but rather just monthly investing on lower cost average, is it risky to invest on stock exchange for American companies, only in American companies? Is it necessary some diversification with European or other?
Yeah, I really think that if you don't have time to read about this company and to have deep understanding, it's not good idea to invest in them. For example, so that's why I always say it's better to invest in some kind of combination of S&P 500. Maybe it's even S&P 500 is enough, but I prefer the mix between. So I think it's better only to invest in the ETF of Nasdaq and S&P 500. But if you are interested and you have a deep understanding of, for example, I have one friend that was really deep understanding on Broadcom, and he was convincing me, but I didn't have visibility of the Broadcom, and he was right. Broadcom is amazing investment in the last 3 years. So in this case, if you have a deep understanding, it's good, but it's risky for me to invest only in companies because then it's but combination is it's good.
So ETFs, but they could be diverse also.
Yeah, but don't go more than 5 to 10%. Is I think of one company.
Basically, when you talk about risk investment, is when you stock pick Yes, stock picking is a risky investment because you have all your money in one company, and when you have it in a broad index, okay, the composite, it basically statistically it balances out, right? Okay, somebody will lose, somebody will win, but you have your money is not fluctuating that much.
And also 40 stocks is also not good idea because you don't have time to have understand because this is diversification. But actually what happened, you invest in a lot of stock that you don't have time to follow. So this is, one thing that people don't understand very well is that when you invest in a S&P 500, you basically always you're always invested in the 500 companies that are the best at the moment because they are every 3 months, I think they are rebalancing, putting the best 3 new and they are taking out the worst performer. So this is, so they are doing for you.
Your portfolio, basically.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
I would like to ask one more.
Okay, this is probably the last question.
Okay.
Or somebody else? Does anybody else have a question? Two last questions. And then...
Mine will be quick. Out of your assets, all of the assets, you mentioned you bought a house, so I figured you do have some assets in real estate, which you use for your own pleasure. How much of a percentage is that?
Okay, I have apartment in Bujana. It's but I don't, in a way, I don't count them as assets. For real estate, for me, is not asset. Even it's asset because it's good to hedge against inflation. But for me, it's only important are the stock portfolio. So, but maybe I don't know. Yeah. No, more. Real estate is more. Much more. No. But yeah, okay. I'm not very. I have land in around Sofia, but it's different story. It's one investment that's it's it's a very long story. So I have a big plot of land, but so maybe this change everything. But it's.
But you don't see it so much as income generation.
Yeah, I want to. If it's possible to sell, I will sell immediately.
Okay, but just one observation right now. What you are telling the whole time is actually reminding me very much of Berkshire Hathaway. Like the Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, they have a very limited number of stocks they're investing, so they can oversee and basically they can know and they can operate with them. So, am I correct?
Yeah, I'm deep fan of Buffett's psychology and everything. I'm reading everything what he's doing. In the same time, I'm totally different investor. So, but I learned so much from their philosophy. I think they are the best. And if you have time, read it. That's such a knowledge.
One thing here, Charlie Munger, the partner of Warren Buffett, says something that I really love is because he says everything looks very simple. Yes, it's simple, but not easy, right? So, yeah.
I just wanted to ask about AI tools. Do you use AI in any way in your investment flows?
All the time, because I'm thinking of switching also from we discussed it. I'm using Chat GPT from the very beginning. It helps me because I put a lot of data there, and he's helped me to check once again, because before you need to look all the data and spend a lot of time to analyze, and he's helped me to analyze. But usually I'm always putting different type of data that I'm analyzing. So he's helping me to understand the data better.
So like a research assistant.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly research, but just understanding the data, the data from the company or data from the market to go deeper. That's why I'm using the AI, and I think everybody is using, and that's why AI is not a bubble, and it will change everything.
Thanks.
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, I hope that I realized that it was 12 years since I last was using English. I'm not using English like before, and it's a little bit.
But you took the challenge. I remember when we were discussing. You said, "Oh, English, okay, okay, we do it." No, but it was really interesting, and to hear everything you've done, and then really to look a little bit under the hood, like how you do things and what you do. I think it was very interesting for people. They were asking very specific questions. So thank you so much for taking the time, and then here just to say something, guys. Like I just had this discussion before. Like this is a movement. This is the Financial Freedom Club. It has absolutely no financial obligation. This is how it will stay. It's here on the first place for me. I started because this is how I live, and second of all, to have like-minded people, and of course, I have to say this, like to be able to invite such guests as you, like it's like, okay, I'm Boyko, talk to me. Okay, I have a club, I have around people here. You'll be okay. I come. This is how it works usually, right? And really, and here this is really for people that really would like to have like values that are more into being happy and enjoying life, right? So again, this is forever free, and for people that want to participate, and for people that just want to have discussions with like-minded people. This is what it's all about, right? Okay, thank you so much for coming today. Thank you so much for the great questions. Thanks for the people that were online and were watching us. It feels like very different right now. It started like 5 people discussing. Right now we're having online and streaming and people here. So it's really cool. And thanks for the trust that you really take the time to do this. Okay, so this is about it. And we have a reservation at Happy at 4:00, I hope. Orlin, we're having a reservation? Yes, no? No tables. So we're going to stay hungry. Okay. So we conclude now the online streaming, and we can have conversations. I suppose Lyubo is now on. You can ask him things if you want, if he's available. But thank you so much. There you go.